presenting my presentation on the quadratic equation and how it ties into profit. And yeah, so we start over here. This is just a tin or a bin of hay. So back in the ancient times with the ancient Babylonians, Egyptians, and Chinese Empire, they were trying to figure out how they can get more hay in the bin. They knew how to, so they had no way to measure how, sorry, let me change the time real quick, how to extend it and how to measure how much they have to extend it by. So that leads them to the creation of the quadratic formula. You know it, you love it. So here is the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus or plus negative 4 times a times c over 2a. So many people use this as a way to solve quadratic equations. Actually, everyone uses it. No one uses it for anything else. And off we go into the project. Oh, hey, it's cheap. So here we approach on our first destination. This guy, Muhammad bin Musa al-Khwarizmi. He was the first person to ever solve a quadratic equation algebraically. So people say he didn't create the formula, but many people say he did. But he was the one who started it all. Alright, now let us go back on our journey. Goodbye. Alright, we are going up to our first destination. The definition of profit. Profit is how much product or money you make back after selling or trading it. Alright, and off we go. Going up. Okay, so here we are at the vertex of a parabola. The vertex of a parabola gives us the best price. So after you're done solving your quadratic equation, you can either graph it or average it to get the best price. Alright, so here is our situation. It costs $500,000 to start up the company. Each designer watch costs $500 to make. To figure out the best profit, we first must find a reasonable price. If we start selling at $0, then there's no profit whatsoever. But if we start selling them at $4 million, we won't sell any. You might sell more around 5,000. If you want to sell 60,000 watches at $5,000, you have to follow these steps. Alright, let's get back on our track. So, I will be giving Mr. Wright a script that I use with all my equations because it was way too much to write out in Minecraft. I'll say that. Alright, so here we are, approaching the first equation. This is the unit sales equation. So, we have 60,000, which is how much we want to sell, minus 750p. P stands for price, and 750 is the unit price. But here is our sales equation. 60,000 times P minus 750p squared. Here's where it gets complicated. So, we start by taking our 500,000 from over there, and so it costs $500,000 to make the whole company, to get the factory, hire people. And so we have 500,000 plus 500 times 60,000 minus 750p. So we have to do the distributive property first. So we do 500 times 60,000 and then 500 times a negative 750. We get 500,000 plus 30 million plus a negative 375,000p. Alright, now we add, so we get 30,500,000 plus a negative 375,000 P. Now we bring in our other equation, which is our sales, not the unit sales. We get 60,000 P plus a negative 750 P squared plus 30,500,000 plus a negative 375,000 P. We end up with 750 P squared plus a negative 315,000 P plus 30,000,000. Now we have to multiply 750 times 30. Oh, sorry, that 30,500,000 is a negative number. So we get. No, it isn't. Sorry, never mind, it is not. So we get negative 750 P squared plus negative 315,000 P plus 22,875,000,000. That is our quadratic equation. Now that we have our quadratic equation, we plug it into the formula. Now this is going to be complicated, so I have it in a notebook here, and I will also send this to Mr. Wright. He can put it up on the board, or he can just show it to everyone and hope you guys understand. So we get 315,000 plus or minus the square root of negative 315,000 squared plus a negative 4 times negative 750 times 22,875,000,000. All of that over 2 times 750. So we get 315,000 plus or minus the square root of 99,225,000,000 plus 68,625,000,000,000. All of that over 1,500. So now we have to add those two numbers. We get 315,000 plus or minus the square root of 68,724,225,000,000, all over 1,500. So we square root our 68,724,225,000,000, and we get 315,000 plus or minus 8,290,007.54. The 7 is in the ones place. It's kind of weird to say, so I'll say that. All over 1,500. Now we do our 315,000 plus 8,290,000 and then 7.54 and divide that by 1,500 and we get 5,736.67. And now we do 315,000 minus 8,290,000 and 7.54 all over 1,500, and we get 5,316.67. We average those numbers and we get an average price of 5,526.67. So that right there is our best price for profit. So as you can see, we were able to use the quadratic equation to find the profit of how much money I can make off selling designer watches. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I will see you guys. I guess I'd be in school in this place. So, goodbye.